Hey, welcome to Evansville Podcast. My name is Jason Burton. Thank you for listening. Thanks for downloading. Please check out other episodes on evansvillepodcast.com. And please, if you have a moment, subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes or your podcast catcher of choice. I'm not sure of the proper term anymore, but please help us out by reviewing us. It helps us get new listeners, which, you know, we're always looking for. Today's episode, we are speaking with comedian Andy Imlay. Andy has a big announcement for us, so that's really cool. Other than that, I won't spoil the surprise here, but you'll get to it in a few minutes, so you'll be fine. We also talk about him being a comedian, having cerebral palsy. Sorry, that we talk about that, the proper pronunciation. I don't know why I've never pronounced it, I think, properly. And we also talk about his love of Superman and where that comes from. We talk about what comedians he enjoys listening to, and we get into a lot of comedy stuff, how he started, what he finds, or how he likes to work, that kind of thing. And we talk about his YouTube show and how that got him involved with Nike. Lots of things. So instead of me just telling you about it, let's just get into it. Please enjoy my conversation with Andy Imlay. Thanks for reaching out. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for the opportunity.
No, it's great. I always like it when I don't know a person at all, and reach out and we talk. Cause it's like, we got the world to talk about, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But one thing that I want to ask you is, because I've heard it both ways, is it cerebral palsy or cerebral palsy? Because now it's in my head and I don't know what to say. Well, or does it matter, I guess?
If you get technical about it, it's cerebral palsy. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the accent that people have down here in
exactly.
southern Indiana.
I've heard
cerebral palsy.
You're right. Yeah. It's like they're just tripping over themselves when they say it. Comedian. I mean, how do you start being a comedian? Because that's a tough thing, right?
It's a real funny story how that happened. So there used to be a comedy club on Main Street, 217 North Main, which has since now been demolished because of that fire they had over there. Yeah. So I was at an Iceman game one night. Okay. I think it was probably 2.5 years ago. Yeah. Buddy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I got these free tickets to this comedy club. You should go check it out." So he gives me and my buddy tickets to a 10:30 show down at the comedy club. Okay. Right after the game. So I was like, "Yeah, we'll go check it out." So went down there, saw this guy named Ron Feingold. Okay. Still does comedy to this day. You can look him up on YouTube, whatever. Okay. He basically does his own little musical act. He has this. He has some kind of technology that he uses that he's able to create his own backup vocals, and so therefore then he creates songs off of that. And he's still doing comedy, so I thought, that's cool. I've seen Josh Blue before, who has cerebral palsy, who's a famous comedian, as well as Chris Fonseca, who's a famous comedian with cerebral palsy. I've seen those guys before, but I thought, this is a local club, this is cool. So they were talking about the open mic stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'll go try it, see if I can develop a routine, see what happens. So I would go every Thursday night down to the club, and they'd give you 5 minutes and say, okay, give us your best stuff. And so then I went to the Boca Lounge one night. They were having open mic down there. Yep. That's a pretty hot spot down on Haney's Corner right now. Yeah. They just remodeled not too long ago. It looks really nice in there. And so I got to be friends with this guy named Dustin Madison, who's from Petersburg. Okay. Dustin runs the pop-up comedy club out of Petersburg. Oh, okay. Cool. So Dustin started giving me opportunities to, MC shows. So since then I've MC'd a couple shows up at Legends Bar and Grill up in French Lick, which is right across from the casino. Okay. French Lick. That's it's a nice little range then of getting up there. Been to Louisville a couple times down the Laughing Derby on Bardstown Road. Okay. They're under new ownership now. So, I think they're going to end up changing their name back to the Comedy Caravan because it's what it used to be before then.
I've heard of that. So
they've been doing some remodeling. I haven't been down there as of late, but and then went to Bloomington up to Bears Place, which is on 3rd Street there in Bloomington.
Oh, okay.
Right across from the university.
Bloomington's pretty interesting comedy.
It's a college scene.
Place. Yeah.
So, I mean,
a little different than Evansville.
They're college kids, so they want to hear, raunchy, filthy stuff, and that's, I mean, that's not what I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can go there, but my mentor, who is from here in Evansville, Big John Richardson, he always told me, he's like, if you can work clean, you can work anywhere.
That's very good advice.
So
yeah, I've
developed my routine as clean and as family friendly as possible to ensure that I can pretty well get in anywhere.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's smart. That's a smart way to go. Work as clean as Rachel Goldman, right?
I guess.
No, she's been on them. I hopefully can make that joke. I
won't tell her if you won't.
That's fair enough. Hopefully she won't listen, right?
Right.
So now, how's the reception been? Because comedy's tough, and
it's hit and miss, man. It really is. I mean, I had a lot of success last year with at least booking a show, at least a show a month, whatever else.
Yeah,
but it's kind of one of those things you have to go out and get it. It's not going to come to you. So,
right. And is it one of those things where is it a comfort level, or is it just got to get those reps in kind of thing where you feel and that's makes it not easier, but
with comedy, there's a couple different things that come into play. Of course, your material for sure.
Sure.
It's all about the delivery and how you deliver it. Because if you're able to deliver a joke well, the joke will work anywhere and it will work repeated times. So people that have seen me before, they're like, "Well, he's doing the same stuff." Well, I know that stuff works. And if there's people in the crowd that haven't heard it before, guess what? It's brand new stuff.
Right.
That's why you see the professionals doing the same stuff all the time. I mean, you've seen a Chris Rock special where they can cut between different venues of him doing the same routine, and it just flows.
Yeah.
So, but it's all about timing too. There's timing involved in there. There's a little bit of cadence involved in there, and you kind of have to go off of how the audience is receiving it as well. Because sometimes if somebody laughs at something, sometimes the laugh can be funnier than the joke.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that. So is there like a joke that you thought was just going to kill and it never quite clicked for some reason?
So back to Rachel Goldman. Rachel told me, she said, because I was in Indianapolis back in December for the Indiana Conference on Disability up at the Weston.
Yeah.
So I asked Rachel, I said, "Hey, you've worked the Indy circuit. Is there anywhere up there that I can work while I'm in town, just so I can say I did comedy in Indy?"
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So she said, "Go to the Alley Cat Theater, and they run a show on Sunday nights, and so it's a younger crowd. It's it's college again. So some of my stuff doesn't go over well with younger crowds."
Okay.
Because believe it or not, younger crowds, for whatever reason, like to hear dick jokes.
Weird.
It's weird. But yeah, I've got my closer that I do is basically wrapped around the fact of that I watch the WWE and I like handicap matches. And I never understood why they call them a handicap match.
Oh, boy.
I explain to people it's two guys versus another guy, know. And it's always John Cena's in the fight of his life to beat up this other guy you've never even heard of because that's what John Cena does.
Right.
And I said, look, all I'm saying is if I'm ever able to take two women home at the same time, I don't want to call that a handicap match. I want to call that my Make-A-Wish. So usually that is just, I've seen people fall down laughing. I've seen, as I'm watching you right now, you're trying to hold it together.
I get it. Yeah. I'm a professional here.
But that completely fell flat at Indy. And I was just like, well, good thing that was my last joke. I was just like crickets. I was like, wow, every single venue I've been to, but Comedy is subjective.
It is. It's
it is
so
very
weird.
subjective.
It's so funny too that I was thinking about this the other day because we were watching some comedian on Netflix. I don't even remember which one it was, but it was just like these people are the crowd is. It's like they're demanding you make them laugh in a way, and it's just a weird. It's like there's nothing like that.
Well, it's like for instance, some people think Amy Schumer's hilarious.
Right.
I, for one, do not find her funny.
Yeah.
It's just I just don't. It's just one of those things, you know.
Right. There's plenty of examples where I don't get why somebody thinks somebody's funny.
But the key thing about comedy is if you can find something that's relatable that somebody can relate to.
Yeah.
Then they're going to take it personal, and therefore they're going to more than likely they'll find it funny.
Yeah.
It's all about finding relatable material.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we went down a little rabbit hole there. But so you've been doing this then not long, really, like maybe a couple of years?
Yeah.
Year and a half, 2 years?
Two and a half years, probably.
Years. Okay.
Yeah. I actually created my YouTube show before I.
Yeah, I was watching some of that here recently.
Before I did the stand-up comedy stuff. And the stuff on my YouTube show is completely separate from what you'll see in the live performances. Okay. I did that on purpose.
Right.
Like, because people see it on YouTube, they're like, well, there's no need for me to go see them live because I watched it on YouTube.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's how I would be if I was,
That makes sense.
So the YouTube thing's been pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I did the review for that Nike shoe, which propelled me into being in that Nike video. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one, but I'll go check that out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to link to it on the show notes here.
Yeah. But. Nike actually approached me, I guess it was a couple months ago. I was like, hey, we see you did the review of our shoe for people with disabilities. Do you care if we use some of your material for this video we're putting together?
Yeah.
Sure, no big deal. Well, right. Unbeknownst to some, the shoes that I bought them the day they came out because I was so excited about it.
Okay.
The way it works is there's a zipper mechanism on the back of the shoe, so therefore the back of the shoe comes down, so it makes it easier to get the shoe on. And then all it takes is one hand to actually pull it around, latch it, and then it's Velcro.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought they were really cool. They broke within about 5 months of me having them, which I thought was crappy. I paid $150 for a pair of LeBrons, I wanted to be able to slam dunk.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know.
But
I know what you mean.
I found out from my friend Dan Rhino that, hey, Nike has a 2-year warranty on manufacturer defects on their shoes.
I did not know that.
So I didn't either. So I was like, cool. So I sent them in. The version 8s were no longer available. Had to order their new version 9s. Yeah. Which weren't as great as the version 8s. So they did a redesign, and for whatever reason, they actually made the shoe narrow for some reason. And if many people don't know that a lot of people with disabilities wear braces, or as we call them, AFOs. So therefore, we have to get bigger shoes. We have to have the wider shoes.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I sent the version 9s back, didn't like them, so I was kind of bummed about it. And then they approached me about this, and they were like, well, hey, what's your address? So I gave them my address, big deal. And then I get a free pair of shoes in the mail.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
The exact shoe that I'd reviewed, they sent me a free pair.
That's pretty sweet.
So, yeah.
Man.
Pretty awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah. So you ready for me to actually drop the
news? If you want to drop some news, I'm always ready.
I've been waiting because I am big on social media if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to drop the bomb for a while, but I wanted to save it for your show.
We greatly appreciate this.
I am the 2017 adult representative for Easter Seals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
That's great. So what does that entail then? What is your responsibilities here?
Well, I just got an email today. They want me to be a pay setter, which basically means go out and ask people for money for the telethon coming up in April.
Yep.
Because they're wanting to break another record.
Okay.
They've been breaking the records the last couple of years. Over $1 million.
Wow.
that stays right here in the tri-state.
That's great.
Last year, the pay setters themselves raised over $144,000 to underwrite therapy for people with disabilities in the tri-state.
Wow.
So
that's real money.
Believe it or not, 19 years ago, I was the child representative for Easter Seals back in 1988. So 19 years later, I get to be the adult rep.
That's awesome.
So kind of the same stuff I did when I was a kid, except when I was a kid, the telethon was 36 hours long.
Right.
And it was held at Washington Square Mall.
I remember this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Now they've condensed it down to 6 hours at the rehab center on that Sunday.
Okay.
So different appearances here and there, kickoff luncheon. The cool thing I'm really excited about, the Frog Fowl Lease.
Oh, yeah.
I get to judge one of the winners at the Frog Fowl Lease.
Very nice.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully, raise a little bit of awareness for cerebral palsy while I'm at it.
Absolutely.
Especially with my new role on the Evansville Vandenberg Advisory Board on Disability Services. I've actually been appointed by the Mayor Winnicky himself, so it's kind of, I've got my plate kind of full.
That's going to be a busy year for you.
Yeah. I only work part-time. I work at a local business here in town called PC Quest. And, Quest for Electronics. Basically what Quest for Electronics is we took over Brisley's when they closed.
Okay.
So we opened a division of PC Quest called Quest 4 in March. We did a big remodel of the showroom.
Same location that it was in? Okay.
Yeah. So now we sell TVs, home audio, basically all the same cool stuff that Risley's did.
Okay.
Just down the street.
Just down on Green River.
Yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, come check out the showroom. They've got an actual theater room with a 120-inch projection screen with a 4K projector, some theater seats. Yeah.
Do you ever throw your YouTube show on just to show somebody how the TVs work?
Actually, what's really cool about the theater room is they left space enough for me to wheel my chair in there and check stuff out. So
very nice.
Yeah.
One thing, I was looking at your tattoos here. And I've seen a lot of stuff online and in your videos. There's a common theme of Superman. Where does this Superman love come from?
Okay. So I haven't always been a Superman fan. Big shocker. Big shocker to a lot of people that know me that might be listening to this. Not always. 2004, October is when Christopher Reeve passed away. So that was a big thing. They came across the news.
Right.
We've lost Superman.
Right.
So I was like, So I started doing some research, read both his books, Still Me, and I think the second one is Nothing is Impossible, something like that.
Okay.
Maybe, don't quote me on it.
Well, we'll find out.
But great books of his. And so I saw all the work he did with spinal cord research and all that kind of thing and people with disabilities. So I was like, cool. And then I found out about Metropolis, Illinois.
Yep.
Which they hold a Superman celebration every June.
Right.
First full week in June, from a Thursday to a Sunday, they hold a celebration that's everything about Superman. They also have a super museum that has the memorabilia from every single movie, and the collection that is owned by Jim Hambrick is estimated in the millions of dollars.
Wow.
So, I've been going this year at the Superman celebration. Will be my 10th year going over there.
Man, wow.
I got engaged there last year.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
Yeah. I'm getting married at the Superman statue in Metropolis during the Superman celebration.
Oh, man, you really are having a big year.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow.
I only work part-time at the store anymore, but it feels like I do so much more than that.
I don't know how you have time to even do that. Oh, man.
I like to stay busy.
Apparently.
I'm not a slacker.
No, not at all. Now, at the end of the year, I had sent some feelers out on what I was like, what was a big thing that happened this year, or that you think was a good news item for Evansville? And you had mentioned that Evansville becoming an ability city was one of the big things. Yeah. Do you know much about this? Can you speak to that a little bit?
I can speak about it a little bit. Ben Trockman probably knows a little bit more about it than I do.
Yeah.
Guy down at Old National.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. Good friend of mine. Yeah. Being an ability city basically means that we're trying to move forward with people with disabilities. We know that people with disabilities have the same needs and wants as everybody else. I think we're maybe the second or third city in Indiana with this designation,
Okay.
Indianapolis being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, they have that changethesign.com
Mm-hmm.
where you can go and sign that petition to get the handicap symbol parking sign changed to reserved parking instead of handicapped, and it's got that more active handicap symbol. If you've seen that, kind of looks like the guy's leaning forward, ready to fall out of his chair.
Right. Which is,
But I redesigned.
I get why they did.
I redesigned the logo for my YouTube show to incorporate the more active handicap.
Right.
symbol.
I saw there was a role model with 2 L's. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie, it's pretty good. I was pretty jealous when I saw that.
I've been with this my whole life, so why not laugh about it?
Man. So speaking of laughing, and people that want to go see you, do you have anything coming up for comedy that in the near future, or have you got any, or just kind of one of those? Pay attention to your social media.
Yeah,
and
kind of pay attention to the Facebook page.
Gotcha.
Facebook.com/Cripple in the Corner.
Right.
People say, hey, some people are like, that's offensive,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not using the dictionary term of cripple. Okay. I'm using the Urban Dictionary term of cripple. And you got to be real careful what you type in on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, you do.
So the Urban Dictionary term of cripple is a person that uses their disability to empower people, to help people. So it's not necessarily, I'm not using it in a derogatory sense like Donald Trump's book, Crippled America. No, definitely not.
Right.
But, I'm trying to change the perspective of how we see that. You know what I mean? So, And I was watching Patrick Swayze one night, and he said, nobody puts baby in the corner. And I said, well, nobody puts cripple in the corner. And I was like, yeah, that's the name of my YouTube show. There we go.
I mean, Patrick Swayze's probably inspired so many people. So
why not me
why not you too, right? Gosh.
Yeah, and I've got a green screen, some lights, so I'm able to do some cool little things with iMovie and my Mac and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
It was one of your videos at the end. It was like all the credits, and it was just you, like 100 different credits. It was That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And like subtlety is pretty funny. I like that. Before I always like to ask people that do, not that I talk to a lot of comedians, but like that you mentioned, like it's not offensive and there's that line. I mean, is it the comedian's role to kind of find that line, do you think? I know like some comedians like to say that that's their job to see where the line is for the public.
Yeah, you're trying to push the envelope.
Right. I mean, how do you feel about?
There's just some things that you don't joke about. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Like, do you remember when Main Street Comedy Pub got in the news a couple years ago?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it wasn't for nice stuff.
No. Okay.
That's for rape jokes. And that's not something you joke about. No.
It's, man. I don't know how I feel about the whole find the line stuff.
Not something you joke about.
Right. So who's your, before we stop here, just because when expert in the field, I want to know who's your go-to comedians?
As far as who
do you like? I mean, if you had a chance, just if something's on like Netflix or something, what is your go-to?
Josh Blue has a new special on Hulu right now called Delete.
Okay.
It's pretty funny.
All right.
Josh, I met Josh back in 2006. He was doing a show at VU, Vincent's University, my old alma mater.
Me too.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
VU people, man, we're doing stuff.
Yeah, I was able to see him. That was shortly after he had won Last Comic Standing on NBC. So.
Very
and then
cool.
before that, you remember when the Funny Bone was in town? Right there in the plaza where Buffalo Wild Wings and all that stuff is now.
Right, near Coconuts. Right, yeah.
Chris Fonseca was there.
Okay, I don't know.
This was before I knew Chris.
Okay.
Or anything like that. Chris has been doing comedy for 30 years. We're talking David Letterman. We're talking ABC. We're talking some big specials.
Yeah.
And he's also from Colorado, just like Josh is. And he co-owns a comedy club out there called the Grin Reaper. The Grin Reaper, we've got comedy cornered. That's his slogan there. So,
comedy club names are just the best.
Yeah, I just talked to him last night over Facebook. I was like, Chris, you got any dates in the Midwest? Because he wants me to open for him sometime.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's always been a dream of mine, is to open for him. And he's like, I'm still working on it, man. So
right. That'll be cool.
Yeah, he's got a little bit. His cerebral palsy is a little worse than mine. Just it's a brain injury, so the form or severity of the cerebral palsy that you have is as unique as the person that has it, because it's an issue with the brain.
Okay.
So he has a little bit more of a speech impediment. He's confined to a chair. He has a little bit harder time getting around. So but still funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ever get a chance to look up Chris Fonseca's Cheeto joke? That's what he's famous for.
Right.
So
I'll look that up.
Yeah.
I do like to ask Evansville-centric questions. If you're okay with time, are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Is there something that Evansville doesn't have that you wish we had?
Comedy club.
Yeah, I think kind of.
Yeah. I mean, the Boca does an open mic once a month. Rachel runs that, and she does a real good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, really, that's the only thing we have, so there's no real outlet for us comedians like Rachel, like Gavin, like Big John. There's no place for us to go and really hone our skills like we want to, or try out new subjects or try out new material.
Right.
We're going to Bloomington. We're going to, Louisville. We're going to Indianapolis. Evansville's the third largest city in Indiana. Why don't we have a comedy club?
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe someday.
Yeah.
One can only hope.
Yeah, that's for sure.
West side, east side, I don't care where it is. I'll come to it.
Yeah.
As long as they don't put a whole bunch of stairs in front of the place, I'm good.
Right. The other one. I usually ask this: is there something like a hidden gem in Evansville that you think other people may not know about, be surprised to learn about?
A hidden gem in Evansville.
And you can take your time if you need to.
Like a restaurant, or
it's just something that maybe you think is underappreciated, or
I'm not going to say Sky Zone.
Right. I mean,
I always thought it'd be funny to show up to that place and go, I'm here for my birthday party.
Hey, you should totally get that on YouTube. Your YouTube.
Get a couple guys together and just hire them to come and jump around me. So, Zach Ainer does a YouTube show. Have you ever heard of Zach?
Mm-mm.
He actually won a competition on the Oprah show called Rolling with Zach. And he has an episode of his YouTube show where he goes out and he basically goes to Sky Zone and talks about all kinds of philosophical stuff while people are jumping on trampolines around him. Yeah, so that's another cool guy that I look up and look up to, kind of thing. So back to the hidden gem in Evansville.
Yeah.
Man.
And if there's not, it's not. I can always cut it. So.
I would have to say, hands down, is Charlie's Mongolian or the new location he's opened up, the Big Bang over on North Green. I had never had Mongolian before, and good stuff.
Now you cry like a skinny girl.
Yeah. Dude, he's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Like, I went in there one time, sometimes I walk on the floor on crutches like you just saw, or sometimes I'm in the chair. So one time I went in there on my crutches, right? He gave me, how many tiers you want, how much hot sauce do you want in your stuff, right? So I was a man. I don't see how much I could take, right?
Right.
So the next time I came in the chair, and he goes, "Oh, what wrong?" I said, "Too much hot stuff, man. I can't walk."
Oh, no.
He's like, "You're a funny guy. You're so funny."
Man, he is. He is so funny.
Yeah.
That place, that's legit. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like. Yeah.
You ever get on Tri-State food reviews?
Not anymore.
Yeah, Gavin's been doing some articles for 106.
Okay.
There's little petty reviews.
Yeah,
and somebody said there's some of the sauces that Charlie's were watered down. And Charlie's always told people, if you don't like the food, it's your fault. You're the one that made it.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's how I look at it. If you don't like the food, you're the one that put it together.
That's very true.
I was actually there with my fiance a couple months ago, and Charlie looked at her food and goes, "No, that's not right." And he actually took it and recooked it for her.
I do like when Charlie is doing the sauces because I'm like hands off, like, oh, sweet, he's on it.
Yeah, he actually has a new sauce over at Big Bang called Charlie's Tears.
Oh no.
Where he can actually put his own tears on your food.
Yeah, I have not made it over there yet, so I will.
Yeah,
I will. That is on the list, though. Well, awesome. I appreciate it, Andy. Appreciate you coming and meeting me over here. And
congratulations on your 1,000 likes on your Facebook page.
Thank you for getting me all those likes. I really appreciate that. Yeah. The power of social media, right?
Right.
And we will look forward to seeing you out at some point this year, making us laugh.
Yep.
Boca, I mean, that's like a couple doors down from my house. So next time, I'm very excited.
Yep, I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks again to Andy for coming on the show. Please check out the show notes for any information that we talked about. Go to evansvillepodcast.com and search for Andy. It should show up right away. Thanks to you, the beloved listener. We really do appreciate you. And if you ever have any ideas for the show, people that you want to hear me talk to, things we want to talk about, questions, anything like that, go to evansvillepodcast.com. There's a contact page. Shoots me an email, or you can just message me on Facebook or Twitter. We're responsive, I think. So, thanks again. Enjoy, and as always, good job, everybody.